This is what we're inviting ourselves to do, is with eyes open, allowing ourselves to let that pure meditative current of energy flow into our daily life. To let that current of light that fills our body in meditation pave the way before us as we move through time and space. So this is the energy that creates worlds. It is with us and within us always. Another way to put this is, I am an energy architect. What would I love to build? For each of us, I am an energy architect. What would I love to build? I am an energy creator. What would I love to create? I am a divine musician. What song would I love to sing? And again, this can be literally that you are a musician, but it also can be that you're tuning into your heart song. Good morning, welcome, 1,000 welcomes, and we are meditating today on part of our series, Manifest Your Divinity. Today's topic is Spiritualize the Senses. One of the things that Swami Shankarananda said was that when you practice Kriya and you realize the truth of your being, realizing the truth of your being, the only thing left is to manifest your divinity. And so we're asking ourselves, what does that look like as we manifest our divinity? We realize the truth of our being, which is already here. The truth of our being is already here. And we're inviting the truth of our being to shine through us, to share through us in the most beautiful, pure, perfect, optimal ways. So sharing a couple teachings from Scripture, we were meditating on one earlier from the outset. A couple of weeks ago, we shared a community reading of the Sermon on the Mount. And one of the teachings offered there from a master teacher is, let thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. And we were noticing as we meditated, and I'm inviting everyone just to close your eyes briefly right now, between and above the eyebrows at the center of the forehead is what yogis call the spiritual eye, the ajna. And so if you just allow your attention to be drawn inward, between and above the eyebrows at the center of the forehead, there is a focalization of consciousness there. The yogis call this ajna, or the spiritual eye. Let thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. As we practice Kriya, we come directly into contact with the truth, with the living reality of this teaching. So very often for humans with eyes closed, as we meditate, it's most direct, it's most present, it's most available for us to realize that single eye, my whole body full of light, it's here. It is already here in consciousness, already present, already available. And then what happens, and I'm inviting you to experiment with this as you feel ready, I invite you to open your eyes and now notice, with eyes open, it is still possible to be aware of the single eye and the whole body full of light with eyes open. So if you've seen the picture of Lahiri, and it might be available at the back, it's definitely available on awakeyogameditation.org, our website, if you look at spiritual heritage and our line of teachers. The photograph of Lahiri, he is aware of that single eye. His eyes are open and his whole body is filled with light. And so he's just got this bliss that is radiating through him. You can feel it palpably as you look at his photograph. So this is what we're inviting ourselves to do, is with eyes open, allowing ourselves to let that pure meditative current of energy flow into our daily life. To let that current of light that fills our body in meditation pave the way before us as we move through time and space. So this is the energy that creates worlds. It is with us and within us always. Another way to put this is, I am an energy architect. What would I love to build? For each of us, I am an energy architect. What would I love to build? I am an energy creator. What would I love to create? I am a divine musician. What song would I love to sing? And again, this can be literally that you are a musician, but it also can be that you're tuning into your heart song. And so for each of us, and let's just play with this for right now. Go within and ask the light within you. So this is the light that is your own heart. It is with you and within you always. It is the light that is the single eye, the whole body filled with light. And right now, this is also what yogis call bliss. It is the bliss of your being. It is with you in fullness always. You do not have to wait for the world to change. Bliss is already here in fullness always. What would your soul love to help create? And just listen. Very often it's something quite simple like peace, or simplicity, or joy, or fun, or friendship, or connection. So name that, and then notice, I am an energy architect. What would I love to build? And how is it if I allow my whole body full of light to create through me? So I'm not trying to force this, or fight this, or figure this out on a human level right now. I'm asking, how does the fullness of light within me, my whole body full of light, how does that energy love to flow and love to create? Another way to put this is that everything we would love to create in the outer realm, so that we would love to help be visible in time and space, we create it within ourselves first. And so if you just keep that, I am an energy architect, that creation happens first. I am an energy architect. What would I love to create? What would I love to build? Let me create that within myself first. It will be visible as you live and move and breathe and have your being in time and space. Welcome. Thanks for your presence. If you are enjoying this, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps joy and inspiration move forth into the world. So if what I would love to create within myself is peace, that energy of peace will be in me, and then it will flow wherever I am, in my human relationships, in my home, in the daily tasks, in the work that I do, as I take the city bus, or I ride the subway, or I sing, wherever I am. Wherever I find myself, if I am creating peace within myself, then peace will be visible in my world. Another way to put this is, as I create joy within myself, of course my energy, my frequency, my vibration lift. And as I lift my energy, my vibration, my frequency, what comes to me lifts as well. And so those who come into contact with me are also silently lifting into that energy of joy, that energy of peace, that energy of song, that energy of wholeness and happiness and fun and friendship and forgiveness and freedom and connection, that energy of the innocence and the purity of our being. And so for each of us to give ourselves the gift of being anchored inwardly in that energy architecture of what we would love to create, and allowing that continually to guide us, so that every thought we think is infused with that energy from within ourselves. Every word we speak is imbued with that energy from within ourselves. Every choice that we make is that energy making that choice with us and through us and as us. So I'm going to start to share a few teachings. And always when we listen to the teachings, notice which ones you're sort of magnetically drawn to. And for those, I invite you to work with them, not just now, but also ongoingly, to let them continue to nurture you, to give you joy and delight and strength from within, and then allow that joy and delight and strength from within to flow through you into time and space. So this is from the Bhagavad Gita. To obtain subjective purity, people of enlightenment who follow the path of action having abandoned attachment to the fruits of their labors, perform their deeds with body, mind, intelligence, and spiritualized senses. And so one of the things that this teaching from the Bhagavad Gita is telling us is that if we're here in time and space, so hello everyone, here in time and space, we are going to be acting. So it's saying, let our action be generous and selfless, and for the goodness and the joy and the gladness, the well-being of all, giving all results to the divine, knowing that what is optimal to be fulfilled is always carried and made visible in time and space through the divine. It is absolutely up to us to do our part, guided by that wholeness, guided by the fullness of that light, feeling connected to the fullness of that light always, creating from a realization of non-separateness. When we create from that realization of non-separateness, we are filled with peace always. We abide in peace always. The next verse of the Bhagavad Gita says that we become master of the body. So we become consciously able to be the energy of peace no matter what is going on with the human body. We become able to be this energy of generosity and joy, creativity and bliss, no matter what the human body is experiencing. And this is because we're the fullness of that light. And the fullness of that light exists always, which means independent of all conditions. As we live in the fullness of that light, then we're bringing that energy of balance, that energy of poise, that energy of equilibrium, that energy of wholeness, that energy of gladness into the body, into the human emotions, into the thoughts. We give ourselves freedom. We give ourselves freedom to take a step back and to choose, how would I love to respond? How would the fullness of light within me love to respond? There's beauty and perfection present in every moment. And so we're living in that register, that energy, that frequency, that realization of beauty and perfection every moment. The Bhagavad Gita also says that the divine is the ideal of all aspects of self-manifestation. And so I'll read the whole passage. This is chapter 7, verse 30. Know me, know the divine, as the manifested phenomenal universe, and as the indwelling self of all, as well as the ideal of all aspects of self-manifestation. So another way to put this is, if you are singing, you're asking the divine to sing through you and with you and as you. If you are making something, if you are creating something, you're asking the divine to make, to create with you, through you, as you. If you are building something, you're working on building your own energy architecture, you're asking the divine to bring that infinite wisdom and intelligence and joy, compassion, integrity, genuineness, and love to build that energy architecture in you, with you, through you, and as you. The divine knows infinite possibilities every single moment. And so for each of us, we're inviting ourselves to open to that infinite possibility every single moment. Swami Premananda, in his spiritual commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, which is the second half of his translation of the Bhagavad Gita, says this: not stagnation, but manifestation of thy infinite divinity is thy nature. So what this tells us is there's no limit to how much divinity we can manifest, because our nature is infinite divinity, and it's also infinite unfoldment. So even after we realize the truth of our being, the bliss of our being, the light of our being, the joy and the supreme love of our being, there's no limit to how much light and joy and truth and simplicity and gladness the divine continue to unfold through us. And this is true every moment of our time in embodiment, that light continues to unfold, that light continues to expand. So I'd like to share from you a teaching from Jesus, from John, and this is chapter 4:35. Don't you have a saying, it's still 4 months until harvest? I tell you, open your eyes and look at the fields. They are ripe for harvest. This master teacher is saying it is possible to create in a new way. It is possible to allow time and space and energy to assist, to support. It is possible to allow there to be less struggle and more joy. And we do this by going within. The harvest is already here within. The fullness of light is already here within. The wholeness of bliss is already here within. The freedom and gladness and joy and kindness and generosity of my being is already here within. And then notice how that feels. There's no gap. There's only the fullness of light within you flowing forth into time and space. This is what Karuna was talking about. This is the keys to the kingdom of heaven. The keys to the kingdom of heaven are already here within me. The energy of the kingdom of heaven is here within me. Whatever your word for that be, nirvana, it is here within me. The energy of awakeness, the energy of liberation, it is here within me. And as I realize that, my experience of time and space changes. So one of the things that the Buddha said when he realized the truth, he said, I and all beings everywhere have simultaneously realized liberation. Feel your way into that. Awakeness is the truth of your being, and it's the truth of all beings. Inwardly, liberation and realization is the truth of your being. It's here within you already, and it's also here within all beings already. And that was what the Buddha lived. And then for the rest of his time in embodiment, the Buddha simply was that realization, that frequency of awakeness, of liberation. And the Buddha, being that frequency of awakeness and liberation and realization, helped others who came into contact with him realize that same awakeness is in me. That same realization, that same liberation, that is the truth of beingness within myself also. And so for each of us, we're inviting ourselves to embrace and love and revel in the fullness of light. It is already here, wholly, completely, beautifully, perfectly, in this very moment. And then as we feel the fullness of that light in every moment, light is there in everything you are thinking. Light is there in everything you are speaking. Light is there in everything you are choosing and creating and building and manifesting and expressing. And the light that is within you, it is what Howard Thurman calls the sound of the genuine within. When you are in that energy of the genuine within, you will meet the genuine within everyone, always. Another way to put that, if you like the phrasing of the Divine Mother within you adores you and is already fully there and helps you connect with the Divine Mother in all beings, already fully there. And then notice what happens to fear. It's not present. What happens to separateness? It's not present. There's only happiness and connection and closeness and caring and friendship and fun and affection and a feeling of inclusion and welcome and being at home everywhere, always. I have a couple of teachings from Swami Shankarananda that make me smile so much because he lived these teachings of truth with his life. So even when his physical body was experiencing duress, he lived the bliss of his being. And that is an invitation for all of us to realize I don't have to wait for the physical condition of the body to change. Bliss is already here right now. He does say, I have to be willing to let go of distraction. I have to be willing to let go of upset. I have to be willing to let go of resentment. I have to be willing to let go of focusing on the physical condition. And when I let all of that go, what remains is bliss. And so for all of us, this is the truth. For all of us, we have this opportunity to let go and realize the bliss that is within us. And so here are a couple of teachings and invitations from Swami Shankarananda. So keep your sense of humor and play with these and really allow them to help you, because they have deep, potent, practical benefits as we work with them in daily life. May this breath sustain me to do God's work, to serve the beloved, no matter what's going on with the body. Every breath. There's not a single breath that is separate from the divine. There's not a single breath that is separate from sustenance, from the Supreme Self, from the Divine Mother, from the beloved, from bliss. Every breath is supporting and sustaining. Every breath is allowing us to serve the goodness, the beauty, the joy, the perfection, the honor, the nobility, the innocence of all. Another way to generate the blissful vibrations, keep your sense of humor, cultivate a grateful attitude, thankfulness in everything I need to do, especially what I don't like to do. So if you have that sense of bliss and gratitude, I see people laughing and smiling and crying and clapping. If you have that sense of bliss and gratitude and joy and willingness, especially in what you don't like to do, bliss is with you always. I mean, why would you wait to experience bliss? You don't have to wait to only be doing tasks you like. And so he's telling you, your human self will continue to have preferences. It will continue to have things, yes, I like doing that, I don't like doing that. You're going to get to do both if you are a human. Welcome and congratulations. Why delay bliss? And so if you allow that energy of joy, willingness, gratitude, generosity, selflessness, good humor, and service to be there, even in the things you don't like doing, especially in the things you don't like doing, you're freeing yourself. You're actually just liberating yourself. And then that current of bliss flows into you, no matter what it is that you're doing. So think about something in your life that you don't prefer. People are hooting with laughter. Okay, here's what Swami Shankarananda says about this thing in your life that you don't prefer, that makes you hoot with laughter. If you saw that it was a gift from God, would you feel offended? How could you feel offended the minute you saw it was a gift from God? And that one just makes me cry, because what he's saying and what he's realizing is every single experience that we have is a gift from God. When you look at it from the level of soul, it's always a gift from God, because everything that we experience is an opportunity, you could call it soul growth. Everything, all of it. What you humanly prefer, what you humanly don't prefer, all of it is soul expansion, soul growth, allowing you to turn within and invite more of the fullness of light, the fullness of peace, the fullness of joy and kindness and blessing and goodness and gladness and nobility and honor and courage and strength to share through you, all of it. And so look what happens as well if you realize all of it is a gift from God, and there's no feeling of being offended. There's also no enmity. You're not fighting anyone. You're not fighting anything. And I was noticing this morning. I was looking at the icicles. The sun did not fight the icicles. The sun simply was its own warmth, its own brightness. And you could see the icicles just melting. And so for each of us to turn to the light first, to turn to the warmth and the brightness that each of us is always. Be that warmth, be that light, be that brightness. The ice melts. We do not have to fight the ice. Focus on the warmth and the brightness, the love, the kindness, the peace. Focus on what you would love to create. The ice melts as we focus on the truth and the reality and the bliss of our being. So I'll just share one more from Swami Shankarananda. If someone is feeling like they're really struggling and they ask, why would God make it so difficult? He responds, God's not making it difficult. The God presence within you will do everything to let you know how much you are loved, supported, cared for, how much the beloved seeks to help you. But if you have an ungrateful attitude, you do not allow that spirit of blissfulness to reach you. And so he's saying, no matter how hard it feels, no matter if it feels like you are fighting and struggling and you feel separated and cut off from the ideal that you would love to feel and to experience, the divine presence is already with you. The divine presence is right now, even in the midst of that feeling of feeling cut off and separate and filled with pain and struggle. The divine presence is doing everything to help you feel and know you are loved, you are supported, you are cared for. The beloved is helping you right now. What allows you to feel that is opening your heart and feeling appreciation for the divine presence that is within your own heart now. And so for each of us right now, if we just simply close our eyes and open the heart and allow the divine presence within us to help us feel and know, each of us always is loved, is cared for, is supported, is cherished, is honored, is connected, is ever in a current of friendship and fun and closeness and affection, connection, community, welcome, possibility, blessing, energy architecture, all that you adore. It is with you. It is within you. Open your heart and allow the fullness of that light to fill your entire body and to flow forth in time and space, guiding and supporting you, being of assistance, being of encouragement and strength and courage, benefiting you and also simultaneously benefiting all beings everywhere. Thank God that it is so.